Hello! Welcome then to the RetroTech 120p challenge. Today we're playing Capcom's 1994 scrolling beat-em-up, Aliens vs Predator. Should I have waited till the screen come up? Maybe. Now follows a long introduction featuring the aliens attacking Earth like a bunch of little slippery ant-like buggers. Absolutely amazed, by the way, this has never been played before. Absolutely extraordinary. Like, how's this not come up on the challenge? It's like an all-time classic game and it's not come up. Mad. But yeah, it hasn't. So yeah, RetroTech 120p challenge. You can have as many goes as you want, but as soon as you press record, it's just 2 credits, and that's your lot, matey. Look, as we see the 2 humans here take on the alien hordes. Eat this, you scumbags. Now, here's a little mini genital fact before we get into it. Scumbags is actually in the dictionary as another word for used condom. Ha! Did you know that? I didn't know that until I found that out on the Jim Cornette podcast the other day. Thank you, fuck you, bye. So yeah, the Predators have turned up now. Hi guys, how you doing? Thanks for coming in with your little shoulder cannons. And now we get the title screen. What an auspicious moment this is, as we get the 2 logos together. And you can imagine how exciting this was back in 1994, can't you? When we're at the very start of this crossover. There had just been a few comics out at this point. And then everything started to happen. You had the Jaguar game, you had the PC game, the Super Nintendo game, which was absolutely god-awful. But yeah, we got this. And this is much better. Really classic, brilliant game, this. Love it to death. One of my top beat 'em up of all time. Is that controversial to say? My top scrolling beat 'em up of all time. Over Streets of Rage 1, 2, 3, over Final Fight, over Turtles, over Simpsons, over Vendetta even. Absolutely amazing. Look how fluid it moves. That's why I picked Lin Kurosawa. I used to play as her all the time because she's like darts around, jumping about, doesn't do hardly any damage, but she gets out of trouble lickety split. And also because she fits in with the genital fact of the week that I'm going to be doing as well. I promised Anthony I would do paedophiles as the genital fact of the week, but I'm not going to do that because why? Because of Predators, obviously. But I'm not going to do that because it's not very YouTube friendly. Pedo jokes. It's not very it's pretty distasteful. I know I'm pretty distasteful at the best of times, but I don't want to go too far. And Anthony Walker knows them all already. I mean the pedo jokes, not the pedos. Better make that clear. Don't want to get sent up into the courtroom of Manchester or whatever. He's got enough problems with his team at the moment, eh? Right, so please do join in with this. I reckon people get pretty far in this because it's a fairly forgiving beat 'em up, this, I think, compared to some of the other ones. As I say, it came out in 1994. It was, by the way, number 5 in my favourite games of 1994 list, which is auspicious, isn't it? That wonderful video that only about 400 people have watched. It's a scrolling beat 'em up with Street Fighter 2 motions, so you can do like dragon punches and motions and like Hadoukens, and it does different moves, which I think was the first for the time. It's certainly the first one I played. And yeah, Dutch Schaefer there, by the way, is yes, he is supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, or at least one of his ancestors, because Dutch was the name of Arnold's character in Predator 1. But instead he's got like a power loader for an arm. I do play as him a bit later on. I feel bad for not picking the Predators, but they're pretty boring looking, even though they're like one of the coolest monsters in movie history. Never mind. It wasn't converted to anything this. Instead we got like obviously a different mishmash of different games of Aliens vs Predator, mostly first person shoot 'em ups. There was that really crap Super Nintendo beat 'em up. It was god awful. This I think came out only recently on that weird Capcom joystick thing, which was shaped like the logo. As far as I know, that's the only home version of it. I could be wrong. It might be on one of the Capcom beat-em-up packs that came out in the last couple of years. But up until that point, no, it didn't come out on anything. Would have been a brilliant game to put on the PlayStation 1, though, wouldn't it? Or the Dreamcast or Saturn. But never mind. So, yeah, anyway, General Facts of the Week while we're with young Lin Kurosawa here. No relation to Akira Kurosawa, I'm presuming. Now, the reason I've gone for that over the paedophile thing is I've already mentioned that, but she's obviously an attractive anime protagonist, an anime space marine, and of course she's got her own Rule 34 page, as anything ever would. So we're going to go with hentai. Now, hentai, I've got 5 facts for you. Hentai comes from the words hen, which means weird, and tai, meaning condition, which in the sexual context means sexual perversion. Now, a hentai, therefore, can be shouted at you in the street in Japan if you're doing something dodgy by staring at the wrong person. So, if you get called a hentai in Japan, you're probably in trouble with the law. You probably shouldn't have been doing what you were doing. Fact number 2. The most famous thing we think of when it comes to hentai is obviously the tentacle, isn't it? So why is the tentacle so prevalent in hentai? Well, it's a workaround. You see, the tentacle's first introduced when it comes to hentai because of Japan's strict censorship rules, which means you cannot show a gentleman's phallus. Now, as you may well know if you frequented any adult website that features Japanese content, live action and stuff, there's a lot of blurring out and a lot of pixelatedness going on when it comes to people's junk. With the tentacle, they don't have to do it. You see, because the tentacle is quite an intrusive object. It can be used for various amounts of wrong'unry and body invasion. So what's bad for Japanese people is good for the octopus, and octopi now are the number 1 sex workers in Japan. None of that is true. So yes, fact number 3. Some hentai is banned in the US. You can probably guess which one it is under obscenity laws. Yes, lolicon. Now, lolicon, which is a portmanteau of the Lolita complex, and I'm pretty sure you can guess where that's from. Yes, the famous book and the famous movies of Lolita, which of course were about a man and an underage lover. So, why is this a thing in Japan? Well, it's again down to those mixed up, dare I say wrong, censorship laws. Because part of the censorship law is you can't show pubic hair. Now, who doesn't have pubic hair? People who have not yet reached puberty. Yeah. So, how are children, or what? They don't actually have children as the characters, but they very much look like them. Now, how do they get away with it? So they get away with it by the fact that the representations of what looks but isn't a child, crucially, they're not real. So in Japan, you can draw pretty much what you like as long as it's not pubic hair. So that's how they work around it. Is that completely messed up? Yes, it is. But that is why, as I've lost poor old Miss Lieutenant Kurosawa, and we will now be playing as Dutch Schaefer. Hello, Dutch. Here comes Arnie. He does lots of little Arnieisms, which are brilliant. Anyway, I better get on with these facts. So, if you're wondering who is watching hentai, then Pornhub has the answers for you. It is millennials and Generation Z who are far more likely to view hentai than Generation X or older people than that. It tends to be viewed by over twice the amount of the 2 younger generations than it would be the older generations. So yes, that's who's watching hentai. It makes sense when you think about it, because although anime was a thing for Generation X, it didn't really get super big until you know, Studio Ghibli and like Dragon Ball Z were shown on like television over here in the morning hours in the 2000s. So, and it's been popular ever since, hasn't it, anime? So that probably explains that one. But it's been around for generations, like even before people were kind of putting stuff onto TV. I think I covered that in another video. Anyway, fact number 5. In 2021, hentai was the most searched for type of filth on Pornhub, replacing the term lesbian, which was the top entry in 2020. Yeah, just 2020. The two have swapped places again in 2022. Who will finish top in 2023? It's like a battle of two giants, the lesbians versus the anime girls. I don't know who's going to win. I'm not probably going to ever find that out. Hentai is particularly popular in Russia. And if you're wondering what the all-time most viewed hentai video is on Pornhub, it's actually game-related. It's a new experience, an Overwatch, which is obviously about the game Overwatch, and it has 22.6 million views. Extraordinary stuff, that. So that's the end of the hentai porn facts. I'm very sorry if you were hoping for lots of Jimmy Savile and Gary Glitter related jokes. Feel free to fill my comments up with those if you so wish. One day maybe I'll be brave enough to cover it, but I'd rather not at the moment. So yeah, now this bit's amazing because him with his power loader arm. How cool is that, by the way? He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's got an alien's power loader as an arm. Now there's a move I'm going to do in a minute to an alien. Let's wait and see. I think it's any second now. Here we go. Now, why didn't they think of doing that in Aliens? Never mind, you know, getting afraid of them or shooting them, or, you know, or running away, or throwing grenades or whatever. Start doing Rick Rude style neck breakers on aliens, and you'll have no problem at all. Yeah, incredible. Like, imagine if someone did that in like a Ridley Scott film. Lance Henriksen or Michael Fassbender just sort of grabbed hold of an alien and just laid it out with like a power slam or something. Amazing. So yeah, if you ever encounter one of these in the whatever, it's a version of flesh with an alien, a xenomorph, I guess it's exoskeleton. If you ever meet an exoskeleton clad alien, then yeah, drop some wrestling moves on it. That's how to handle that situation. I'm sure that's really good advice. It's alright, they're not real. I can say anything I like. But yeah, really good game. There's so many different creatures and things in it. You've got the chest bursters, predators that have gone crazy and don't want to help you. And you've got like obviously the zombified humans that have got the chest bursters inside them. All kinds of aliens from franchises, films and shows and things. I'm about to die now, unfortunately. So I better tell you quickly what's coming up on the channel. Christmas is coming up on the channel. I've done loads of work and I'm so ahead of videos. I'm up to about the second week of January. So I can take Christmas off from making videos. Yay! Except for these. I'm still going to be doing these, don't worry. But yeah, and you'll still see 4 videos throughout December from regular things, which are going to be 2 Game Boy Advance and DS games based on natural history programming. Amazing. A Christmas special, which is a Maria Whittaker strip poker game that I hadn't heard of about 2 months ago, and so I decided to do that as I die now. Oh god. And then on Boxing Day you're going to get a board game related one because Trivial Pursuit is coming up. But yeah, please do join in on this channel. You can do if you want, but join in the challenge as well. Watch some of the videos. I'm sure you'll get quite far in this because, as I say, it's quite a forgiving beat 'em up. And yeah, please do join in and have a look at all the other videos that are going up. I think there'll be some really good goes at this. It's a really great game. So yes, fantastic. So yeah, thank you for joining me today, and I'll be back for more fun and frolics, I'm sure, next week. But until next time, stay healthy, watch out for hentai and aliens and predators, and K thanks, bye.